2.1. Yako is a beast of the foreland, and his command features a prominent of the tales of Tenten. It's a great place of information. Let's see. Kind of story quite well. As doing the final, it was hidden in the hells of the hell. The leader, none other than a Jimbo the Forehead's veritable character from human life. At the veritable account, of course, I'm merely a comment of the incredible life you lead. And so I fell to you to quell the armature legendary allspice in battle. My words to think you faced the White Tiger in battle, Western Guardian of the is a former classing was taught by the actors who have mastered a thing. Please, all of them. The consensus thought stated by fellowship. No White Harbor would become a legend. God were near the destruction. To say back your face was a weakling, but picture the painter rather less assorted might have been a cuddle. Perhaps in his old age, perhaps it is in his youth, he more resembled as portrayed in the legend. You know, bless him a crazy power, defined by them men eyes, very souls. The tales of Kaiser allspice in battle. Come to the Miscata fulfilled that age of battle worthy battle. No representative eyes afloat, indigo river, crimson, black and eyes, promise kept, vows fulfilled. I heard of been tales this year before our calls it. Question. The general master dragon. Tales of him been mistaken for a Kagami. I must be. It's not for a great anger of frustrated. Allspice. The records are fully plummeted with the karma of Tenzin. The broken heart, 1,000 more. There's more than 4 moves since the last met. As it so happens that the philosopher's students to your talent had already prepared to throw cautious wind, restored his friends. Of course. Within the time I let us reflect upon the history of Alpha. On a night of Phoenix and Kenan, unconcerned with the judgment of the high, for all the falls, sing heavenly abode, ringing with merriment as the fine flows freely. No one could be bothered to look down. Thus at a good fear folks greet this particular sunset with trepidation. Are starting to safety multiplication of one tribulation. They are well good, and we have properties of forsake fiends as they do, and do not deserve a reveille of which the All Saints Wake were born as a celebration for all by the ghosts, ghouls, good done and otherwise. And how do you propose to accomplish your feat? By blinding the obligations of fiends and convincing more sins, in which forbid that we will prey on mortals. In exchange, they are permitted to partake in a festival they have once troubled the soul, which seems unkillable, getting into the spirit of things. But perhaps you are willing to give them a helping hand, nothing too devilish, I promise. Before you started, you will need to get a grasp of the particular by speaking to Papa Gruff. He ought to be performing one of the shows by entrance of Great Gomagori. Now go. I shall be waiting our... I shall be waiting. Nice. Opinions are how performance, but also close. Let us end things on a high note, ladies and gentlemen. I bid you feast your eyes on a fantastic Piccolo transformation. Well, the last bit was bleeding rubbish. Once more you failed to muster up even an ounce of matter of prowess. I had the crowd in the palm of my hand. We had been the toast of the town, if not the... I had it up my eyeball with that farce. Just because of the few cheap tricks don't give you the right to treat me like that. The thought of you, let alone the thought of making it to the stage which you get good riddance. Oh. Out with it. I know you're not here to swap. And to get in the spirit of all saints wake, I heard you speak of Pillow, the fellow who stormed off in a house. Like most of ilk, I have an insatiable appetite for Aether, but unlike your garden variety voice set who hunt helpless mortals like beasts, we prefer to save our hunger for enthusiasm. I tell you, there is no... as you find the food gifted in which set me on to thinking perhaps preying on mortals was an old-fashioned misguided approach. I must commit to giving folks a fright that dazzles the light-winning hearts and minds, and in that process no small number of Aether. But what better occasion for such a amusement than as All Saints Wake? The method of in catching two Many voices now seek Aether in this manner. Felix is one of the reformer individual. When I first laid eyes on him, I sensed promise, but get him in front of a crowd and you're lucky to be met with half-hearted applause, let alone if you better be off hearing it from the Aether's mouth, though he cannot have gone far. Your time and intervention is much appreciated. By the look of it, if you are an adventurer, let me guess, that pumpkin-head lady sent you to check up on me, isn't she? Yep. Couldn't hurt to tell you the rate. I just can't hang of transformation magic, and without the means to delight the crowd, we're starving for appreciation. I am a paralyzing praise with a big eye of mine. Not a problem turning them into stone with petrifying glare. A trifling task, hell, I can even smell despair and all manner of negative emotions in the people around me. With prospect, it won't win over the audience, and my metaphorical rote nose for despair isn't going to put it easy on the table either. I ought to just tell the pumpkin lady I'm not cut out for this. If you're here at the behest, come too. I lay bare his thoughts and feelings. Not that it's anything good. I'm still stuck in square one, unappreciated and unfettered. Such a curious child. Are you truly so blind to your own potential? No doubt you have an inkling as what I speak of. Pray share the wisdom of Felix. If you're hard pressed to find voices to suggest that, I don't have a feeling help others help me. Then again, I know little of mortal ways, so perhaps I need your advice. And I see the logic in it now. What's better way to make it my task and knock poor Papa Glove right off his pedestal? I know I'm getting ahead of myself. I have no idea where to start. I shall lend in a little with a little sleight of hand. Hold still. Edgy boy. Not only guaranteed to turn heads, every thread is imbued with the pleasure matter to aid you in a newfound purpose. Well, you know, I can feel it. Maybe it isn't going to be so tough after all. Is it the power within? You know, I thought to apologize for my harsh words either, since your act as inevitable says, like I was ultimately my responsibility. But I sense that you've been scheming. It pleases me to inform you, that I found a new way to win over mortals on my own terms. But since you seem more confident, why don't we have ourselves a contest? Whoever garners the most affection, thereby with the largest share of Aether ritual wins, and the victor goes to spoil of subservience. And the loser is bound to obey the whim. You're on, and you're ready to bow and scrape. Moral efforts about one's bark being worse than one's bite comes to mind. Prepare yourself, Felix. I know I've got a marvelous magic effort, but I'm sure not entirely convinced whether it has to beat Papa Enzo on my own. Tell me, until I can get the hang of it, that's all I ask. I shall leave Felix in your capable hands. me find a trouble soul and help. And let's get out of here first. I don't know if there's anyone with that pumpkin-headed lady enchantment, but my power feels more important than ever. I already found someone. Who they are? They're northeast, I think. Though I'm not sure exactly. The roads here are confusing. Truth be told, this is my first time in the city. I got a decent sense of direction, but yet grass lies over the land. Could trouble you northeast here. I'm right behind you. You wish you They have Philocus alias. The pumpkin lady gives suggestion engage in with you mortals. Her real name is actually, what does it matter? It's not like we'll see each other again when it's over and done with. They mentioned the clown. I wager they found just the privilege of seeing one performance. Listen, it'll be for us to admit he's an illusion, but you only got to look at the folks with the ladies to see what he knows how to work a crowd. I won't be upstage. I prove that there is more than one way to win them over an audience by following your giving them the delight written on your face, and our opponent must have earned himself the substance, which means we have no time to. Got it. This must be a fellow sense. Shall we find out where ails him? What got you worked up? There's a poor little girl who has been separated from her mother. I have been looking her over, but then she disappeared. I can't simply abandon her, but then again, I have an urgent personal matter to attend to. I don't know what to do. When I let my associate look for the girl, then you can see to your affairs, won't we worry? She's a young lass dressed in blue. I hope you're able to find her first with. Appreciate, yes I am. Empty-handed? I forget the food. I treat this very bad at ease. Which means I need a the curious amputation, but the poor girl is beside herself. You keep calling her for mama, I might be a loss. That's what we were looking for, but if we were to earn her thanks, it would be reunite her with her mother, I wouldn't say. Oh yeah. What about a daughter having? I'm missing. Then that's why I have to accompany you, right? Well, I don't know which is the bigger boon, having you on my side or that fancy fighter. I think I've learned my way around the city more or less. I'll handle this next part on my own. Wait here and I'll be back with the girls now. Mill flirt. Please, you're safe. Drink gratitude. Thanks for finding my mama, Mixie. Squeeze for your appreciation. After all the courtesy of my special talent, I cannot help but notice that they didn't offer you anything edible by your take part. I already been rewarded with tasty morsels. I said the gift of food is far from guaranteed. Indeed, the preservation is key, but which is why I find myself performing show after show. I suggest you approach this contest with the same tendency. I'm afraid he's right. Constant effort is key. Luckily, I sensed another troubled soul while I was tracking down the other one. I better see what I can do to help. You know, I'm ready to do it alone. Why don't you tell me benefactor? No, I'll come and find you when I'm done. I'm afraid my next bonus calls until we meet again. Oh, here you come. You turned up damn so hard I anticipated. All I have to show for my travel is a single cookie. I think the first gift I received would prove it to be my last. I didn't receive any more than a crumb. I suppose that means you win. Very well. You admit defeat responsibility for that. Don't you? I wanted to thank you probably for helping me and my mama. I brought you a pumpkin cookie. Oh shit. I'm glad you like it. Farewell. Wait, never less than yourself prouder. Yeah, I live to see the day of progress sings my praise. Awful kind of you to admit that I might have worth. Is that all you desire? My begrudged acceptance? Have you forgotten your reason for joining in the festival in the first place? I haven't. The cool people of Kaiser still need my help. And where the common folk in need, there are cookies to be given to me. I have a better get going. Before I do, let me say this. I might have found a way of making my... I wouldn't have been able to do without you and your pumpkin-headed lady. I'll make sure we run into each other again one of these days. I first met wasn't illusionary after all. I should take my leave. 'Twas be amiss for me to allow him to garner all the glory, to say nothing. A frightfully fun-filled all thing. I present to you with the semi-finery. And refinery most emotional. You will wonder if you weren't after the same enchantment. You were there all resolving. That was my way of giving Tentacles the confidence that he so lacked. I dare say such a measure was necessary given he had you to cheer him on. But before I forget, you are hereby cordially invited to a humble abode for get together. You drop by, I assume you. And wake a mortal's voice then is distant prospect. Unless you get to indulge your enthusiasm. Now the thought have completed. Every 10th of the planet, the food is a talking conclave. I've been waiting for you two to arrive. It's a past. You saw the 10,000 souls in your glory. Look around, take it all in, and see what our hard work and smell are cooking. Amazing. I feel proud. Again, I hardly recognize this wonderful. Nevertheless, a wild dream could picture this. On behalf of him, I thank you enough for your generous contribution. I will not hear another word of this praise from you until you release samples of customer compliment. The touch of food. I frankly, it's the sight, the smell, a place are making your mouth water, and I have failed already. Enough, I can. Wonder. Well, I had enough. If not, I can bring another serving. I'm sure you I do fear I might die. I'd like to hear. Customers forced to choose between good sense and another bite. You couldn't have paid me another fine compliment. Now, when enough food and judgment, you'll forgive me if I broach this more serious subject. Such I'm not sure if you noticed, but our cookware, our positive pens, those even are past the prime. They were placed instead of maintaining good cover. They were made to last. We are trying to find and bring issues to our attention. Others have had difficulty obtaining tools and internet. At the moment, Shigatsu is considering 2 proposals. We give them proper crafts which they require, by addressing domestic demands first and foremost. The second is that we concentrate our efforts in producing wares from foreign consumption, which foreign wealth of Doma, and trade for that which we lack. To be fair, but the pursuing most something isn't really feasible. Now why don't you fret over some nonsense, girl? There's no dilemma. Doma shall stand proud and tall alone. We will make what you need. Well met, boy of right west. Took too long for your sense of clearance, and such a sip drink of these thoughts. Over here a tale I cannot ignore and cross paths with this bitter foe. Your foe, you know how imbecile Iron Head, knowing from enemy. I'll introduce him. I like that. The artist ended up here. Managed to repair mill. Which means that he no one compare me to his daughter of a smith, child. More importantly, I should caution you against that. Your second proposal, that is favoring foreign trade, has a greater merit. Despite our best efforts, Doma is still a far cry of what was, and we have no capacity to rebuild it to ourselves. We must first look elsewhere to ensure what we lack. All talk and no guts, all the strength of a paper tiger. Or is that a clever plan? Convince these people to help you sell paper to Iron? You mad, bless you over, how dare you? We can have a district both craft and artisans. One where we will create both tools to use our goods and for markets. The yard, let's call it. And everyone will be happy. At least in theory, right? Our craftsmen and artists alike. Proven fear menace and blame grow a week. I thank you for your support. Oh yeah, I remember doing this cutscene like it will be a directly last section. You see, after deliberation, the second guest here concluded that we will it might be a case of carry 2, so be it. At least to consider spirits, perhaps we must have a work in progress. There is a warrior, I've heard a good word, and Sika has put good plans in motion. I have fulfilled once more. I dare dream and say it would be a but Doma burned. Lord Kain died, all because we are fools and everyone. But then you, my boys, Lee, and the girl, Lise, spoke better death of a fool and suffered life most. Yeah, my girl, oh, what of the blubbering which consumes me? Enough, let me speak the work at which matter of eyes. I built a side of their own. The blood may run with the iron, but even though Doma wants, even I know Doma, so the wood will be begun. I am blessed that we all have mounts of one river in a human climate, and all we teach are bitter and rust. There we have the smithy, a home with a forge and anvil. But not yet. Not yet. We much relies on Soma's soil, whether to be claimed and waiting to be shaped. That's all we need, she provides. Water, wood, or the Matazaurus command. The forge into a tool of the farm and cooks for all. And so be it. The Imperial robbers, our sneaks themselves, stole much of our wealth, our empire. The province, they sent Dome with riches. In return, we received their refuse. Rusted pots and broken plows. Perhaps it was ever since then. We rely on fear too, is forced upon us by conquerors. No longer. Doma knows what Doma needs, and she will make it for her own two hands. This I will end everything, I swear. I should like to see it before I die. To that end, we will need your help. After what makes the dome inside grow and change. On behalf of Tsukuyomi, thank you for your support. I'm pleased to inform you that we have made great strides in our efforts to rebuild the Enclave. Where much. My supervisor has come a long way, more especially Africa. Several of the buildings of designated production introduced that Doma in the papers we may call with judgment all day. As for us, he will be overseeing the matters. Come think of it, perhaps you should go and introduce yourself to him. It is not sense, but given the circumstances of the first meeting, he may not remember you. Alright, let's take him out. No mind altogether. Perhaps it was concentration of a paper mill, but seems plan, I trust. No less than a progressive armor's workshop outpaces mine. 1,000. You may be assured that the Zingaki have not chosen their favor over one another. I know full well try to apology, but I've given the voice of frustration for falling behind all the goals. I know. Who has wronged offended you, perhaps a Sagachi could operate. No, there's no need for anything dramatic. We have long storied history, and he and I, though we fought diverged long ago, we were peers, masters of respective trades. And yet when we cross paths, can I help see him as reckless and apprentice he once was? He brings out the worst in me. But never mind, if you wish to know progress, as well as you see all the schedule, your contribution have helped us come for foreign data. Though with some days that we will begin to produce some paper as before, we're sure that they will come before you know it, the quality of the surpass all expectations. centuries, dormant paper has been covered the world over with a good reason. The fibers of coastal, the variety of western mulberry. I believe that the waters of the one river combine the products like another. This sheet of paper is produced with a technique unchanged sensitivity. Though relatively, the process can take years to master, its efforts is well worth it. Dormant paper is prized between its durability and beauty, so much so as merchants will bicker and squabble or strive to outbid one another, though certain that they will turn a profit. Indeed, is arguably what most. Well, of course, that's too bad, my dear. I trust that you were given onto our production, Ernest. The treasure partners are much more productive. We will put much stores of our products. We have made inquiries and have yet to receive any. Even in a world such things as mercantile matters, you and the workers devote our energy to building the mill. Have no doubt we are misliking loose our iron-head competitors. The road ahead, I pray you will continue with us. Walk with us. This paper is ready to mill. On behalf of Tsukuyomi, thank you for the support. Much progress has made in your. I have no doubt you will be triumph. It was expected that you have wonderful news delivered to him. Well, I'll be glad. again we are graced. Let's look at the beauty. Our presence has put us Smith to shame, so be it more time we usually use that we have built. What sorcery is this? But for poison. We were sure that we may reign some time, but we're remaining less. Refugees have they rested in a journey, but we should be. Thank you for helping me secure better passes home. This day have been a long coming, but we're not for you. We would be. To contribute the most adventurous enclave as well. Once we have gained our strength, we too shall join the instruction. Much fire in your belly, my boy. My boy! But yours need home, beds, and upon which I lay rest, and I will not see you sleeping in the streets. Take what you need materials, and I have a house and building for my brothers and sisters. It must be done. Yes, of course, Master. I will consult with the Shanghai to make them necessary arrangements. It is wonderful. How can people take care of one another? Hard as a what restores have been. As it continues to Shanghai. I wrote that too. Thank you for your support. You have informed me that you have made great strides in the efforts to rebuild the Enclave. There's a paper mill? Yeah, it's a paper mill. Alright, further development. Others will might don't ever grow and change. The goblin merchant who has raised the rapid piece of the shopkeeper from the village has become robbed of his own, stolen from the inheritance. One can only hope the mother rappers are not as clever as the shopkeeper thinks he is. Armadillo. Oh, caught within the rock, so to defend himself, enemy of the large rock beseeks strength. One occasionally sees bravado beasts and wise to choose abilities list. Designated with the likeness of a former member of clan of Nutseed, this automa appears to be cuddlesome as if it were made of cotton. Folks think twice about cuddling it. However, when they learn it's actually made by a Nunu claybender. And saw a rising stone. The tower discovered a veritable army of wind-up and resulted in researchers are as ever. The designs of Quincy were altered their hair and tire and marketed them as limited edition models. Skeleton armored vehicle have been mastered the Galilean army in efforts to train the new recruits in proper magitech deployment. Regarding nature will leave them alone and still create a miniature version of the mountain conveyor. However, though it's fine fall atop the belt appears to be highly susceptible to position and voicing. Progress we made this far. Yes, we just honor watcher. Yes, very close indeed. I remember it was actually here. Along the Lord High has done, and Emperor suffered dome restoration. Must with Steel Club to talk to an animal, even if Stormblood has managed to remain there. Alright, let's see what's up. In a pickle time, we have just received a letter from Lord Hyman, which matters the Domas are recording their efforts as a blue coach and maintain a constant witch warpath by staying on the lookout for a site of crystal hoarding. They mean to nip at some attempt in the bud, thereby satisfying the conditions for peace at dawn. The Guardians parted. The properties have sent the word of vessel bearing a Doman conscript as soon as arrived in Marina. 'Twas seen that the prisoner exchange is proceeding as planned. Lord High requests your presence, and I share your view that you should be on your Yoshi's memory has not yet returned, so it looks like she should be lived out the rest of her days in Doma, assuming the ambassador means to honor the agreement, of course. Before we can get to that, however, I think it might be wise to assess her condition one last time. If Domans have missed any changes in her mental state, however slight, it would be better if Asashi were the one to spot it. Agree. Let us make straightway into her enclave. Then Lord Hein will be waiting. I trust you cope in the absence, Haru. Me, it's fine. Just make sure you come back safely. Very careful to confront a coincidence. I doubt he had or civil war without asking a price. Maybe between Doma and the Empire. Loosen the grip. I say they'll let the trade routes breathe freely. But details are. The trainer car for the binding words. Alpha had his two strings and death grip. Buying that sword. Alpha has had the purse strings in the death grip. I can't even buy a cup of tea without him going after on about the dragon of frivolous spending. I reached you across the Ruby Sea. Thank you for coming so swiftly. I wrote at some length to the subject of formal exchange. There was one man I think to mention. I concern as you may have a return for his ordeal, rest aware, and despite his best efforts to conceal this, and perhaps because of them, he recently collapsed. Is he alright? Confirmed to bed and grumbling without cease. But he has shown signs of recovery. He made a promise to not tell you lest you were unduly, which is why all as well. As you're here, however, it will take my time to some visitors. You spare a moment. Yosetsu has scarce left his side. I imagine you're curious as to see what it becomes as well. Kaiser, shall we? I'm here.
Open wide now.
Pleased to you. I'm not so frail that I cannot feed myself. I grow weary of the taste of gruel.
Hey man.
You don't like it? Can I fetch you something else?
Aye, wine! Or if that is not wholesome enough, I don't know. A sweet persimmon from Namai? I enjoyed them in my youth.
A persimmon?
Nay, pay me no mind. I am full. Besides, we have guests.
I hope we are not interrupting your meal. We had heard you were confined to bed and thought you might welcome some visitors.
Confined to... a gross exaggeration. A trifle drained from my exertions, perhaps, but with a little rest, I shall be fighting fit again in no time.
You sure?
Take off your clothes.
Huh?
Gosetsu, is this how you've been spending your time?
Oh, yeah. That's...
My lady, I assure you, this is not...
to wash you. You stink.
Oh my god.
What are all these scars? There are so many of them.
A life of battle will leave its mark upon a man. Is something wrong, Tsuyu?
It's nothing. I'm fine.
But leave me be, woman! I will not be fussed over like some newborn babe.
Oh man. He's starting to remember. That was an eventful watch. Think you convinced me, pair, did I not? One first acquaintance, it would think they were him doing grandson as modeled grandchild. Had someone told me years ago that I would bear witness to such a scene, I would have declared them mad. But aside, I am relieved that see Gozetsu has none less spirit. And what are the eternal events? I mean, for her to suddenly be watching over him, he couldn't make it up. Though I suppose Gozetsu is an old man. With the way he charges through life, it can easily to forget. He's resisted discrepantation with the same defiance he showed the enemies of Doma. But no matter how adamant he will, no man can carry on forever. He was pushed himself beyond the limits of endurance too many times. Even his health returns. The fact remains he will never be where he once was. He was given his all for his legion land, and he will ask no more. And what of his nurse? If Yosetsu is feigning that, well, she certainly has me fooled. This is no pretense. Yeah, out of all of us, I would think you're the hardest convinced. So what makes you I've been spying on Yosetsu from the shadows, waiting for the misstep that will betray her for what it was. But her mask has never slept, not once. She remained in character from the first. One evening I watched her as she sat in her chambers, unguarded and alone. She had to take the dishes from the cupboard and was pretending to prepare dinner right on the tatami as a child game. Even the warner shinobi would not go to such lengths. I can't be conclude that her mind is truly broken. That's good enough for me and anyone else. I would have. No matter his cell, Yosetsu will become Tsukuyomi and begin a new life here in Doma. Before that can happen, however, we will need to present her to the ambassador one last time to prove that her memory is truly gone. We would not risk parading her in front of a returning conscript. Her presence at the exchange would only stir up. She as good as fashioned a chain around her neck. Which is why to conclude the business with the city first, out of the sight of countrymen, we are at your service. There is no higher purpose than to. The galleons are on their way. We must prepare the welcome. You'll meet your doctors to you. So we'll join you at the docks for information. after weeks of surveillance, it would be difficult for me to accept that your sister is genuine, but not as difficult accepting her sister's affection for her. Playing the balls on the floor. I don't know that we can think of her as the same person anymore. Behind us. It seems so easy. She's nowhere to be found. The Guardians will be landing in a matter of moments. She fled. Could it be her memories returned? I know not. Yuguri is scouting the streets as we speak. It's possible Tsuyu has left the Enclave altogether. Did you across the river? Oh, my lord. I don't already know. I think no. Yes, my lord. Now you mention it, there's a lady along the pasture who I do recall having seen before. Her face was hidden with the brim of the hat, but I remember taking her hand and help her on the boat. While as she white as fossil, was she someone important, my lord? Oh, I really hope to catch our guest before she departed. Please, Captain. He's dead. Was that Tsuyu has crossed rivers. Kami, help me. No good can come of this. Amy. Marina must return. Why else would she run? I cannot see the printed shades, but indeed our peace is a lot. We have to. Recognize her at its heart. But Kami of help as someone who catch her fate. I must help. Responsible for her appearance, all this lies with me. But I must ask it nonetheless. If we were at your service, Lord, now let us make the cross the river begin our search. You go ahead. Someone let Yuguri know that we've learned. I'll join instead. It will take Kaiser and his surround Alpha. If we would take the road to... forgive me, I couldn't ask you to get the residents of Yuzu Manor. One of the numbers we may have. Everyone in agreement, let us board the skiff and hope to come. I have no trouble. I'm sorry, scarce when I was on the other hand, we have an abundance. On the way back from my fishery, you cross the shallows and east and must head in Russia. Most part her steps and not starve her. If you hurt her, you might catch her. Perhaps she is someone long loading, this must be it. or as one certain cause a survivor has, it is not. It is chance being which you were supposed. Has gone to assist her brother in a cash drum. It was she who informed me of the situation. I don't know how. Any signs of missing guest? What's Namaya? Like Kami, if the village recognize her, it will not end well. We must hurry. You and I will check the paddles. The village square is yours.
Greetings. Might I have one of your... Wait! Please! I only wanted a persimmon.
Kami, save us! Her spirit has returned!
She's back from the dead to seek her revenge!
It can't be. She couldn't have survived.
What did I do?
As if you don't know!
Good people of Namai, be at ease, I pray you. You have naught to fear.
My lord, forgive me, but what is that monster doing here? They told us she was dead!
I too was surprised to learn of her survival. More even than you, I would hazard. 'Twas I who cut her down, I who left her to her fate. But it would seem the Kami had other plans. By some miracle, both she and Gosetsu were spared when the keep collapsed, though Yotsugu's preservation came at the cost of her memory.
You're saying she's forgotten? Forgotten everything she's done?
Lies! Lies, my lord! She would say anything to escape punishment!
What does it matter? We have not forgotten her crimes, and we demand justice! I beg of you, Lord Hien, draw your blade and rid us of this canker!
What I saw then, it's all true. I'm sorry! I'm so sorry.
You're sorry? And what? We're supposed to forgive you?
Here, there's no need to cry. Can't you see how scared she is? How can you be scared of her? She's not the same.
Oh.
Until such time as her memories return, this woman shall be known as Tsuyu and treated as a citizen of Doma. I will, however, see that she is watched at all times. Rest assured that there will be no more unannounced visits to the village. As your lord, I ask that you leave her fate in my hands and suffer her to live, for now.
Please, Issei.
All right. I'll keep my peace. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
I can't forget the woman again, but I won't do anything to upset Azami. Dude. All this over a persimmon? I fail to consider how she might endanger herself knowing she has the mind of a child. I could have continued religion, not relaxed it. I don't know why everyone's so angry. I got it, like this one, and I hope it likes it. Kind. The face is a picture of relief. That would have been a better avoid if I at least did not end in bloodshed. Judging by Sue's reaction, she remains oblivious to the events of her former life. There was no escape attempt. I can't reach my charger. I'm gonna get my if I can get my charger. What the hell am I staring at? I better avoid it, not by judging. It seemed an offhand request of Gosetsu which brought her to Namai. She came in search of permission. That say fruit is of her girl. I hope Gosetsu finds the taste to his liking. Oh, certainly it will take a long way around. Let's continue on to such a fan. And our meeting ambassador Alfino and Alce should be there. High informers of upward. I think the 12 you found when you did it. And I think it will happen if it has arrived. Which conscripts our remains to be seen. I was sure you would have fled, but it seems her memory has returned after all. Looking to consider such as craving for seasonal fruit. We have to stay here long. You'll be waiting for fruit. The imperial guests have already arrived. 'Tis we meet with them. Alright.
What a pleasure it is to see you once more, Lord Hien. Not to mention my dear sister.
A pleasure to see you too, Ambassador. Forgive us our late arrival. You have our people aboard the airship?
Exactly as agreed. We would leave you in no doubt as to the purity of our intentions. I dare say it was the self-same spirit of cooperation which prompted you to bring Yotsuyu here today.
Indeed. Before excluding her from the exchange, I thought it only fair that you see her condition for yourself. Physically, she is in fine health, but her mind is unchanged.
So I see. But all need not necessarily be lost. In anticipation of this tragic turn of events, I took the liberty of inviting some special guests.
Ah, Yotsuyu. You look well.
Of all the people.
Is something wrong, dear sister? These are our beloved parents. Does not the sight of them bring back sweet childhood memories?
Gosetsu. I have to take this to Gosetsu.
It would seem my little surprise was not sufficient. You needn't glare at me so, Lord Hien. I merely did what any loving son would do for his family. Lest you doubt, I am content to leave the acting viceroy in your care. Pray, treat her as you would any daughter of Dorma. Do not grow too fond of this place, dear sister. You will come back to us ere long.
Oh.
We continue with the exchange as planned, then.
Yep.
Very good. The structure across the river should serve our needs. We shall await you there with the conscripts. If you would bring your captives.
Agreed. Until then, Ambassador.
So that was something. I knew better than to trust Ashashi, but that was a dirty trick. Still, unpleasant as it was, we have at least put the matter of Tsuyu's future at rest. I have sent her back to the Enclave with Yugiri to give Ugazetsu his precious Persimmon. Come, let us follow then. Yeah, look, Alfred, what is it? Oh, nothing. Consequence. More like, we can discuss it. So Tsuyu has become an official Doma citizen, but then will they keep their hammer, or must she one day be allowed to walk amongst her countrymen? So we have to be one less present in exchange. I hope Yosetsu presence here it will not be. We should pay visit. We assure him that Tsuyu's fate. He will want to know that the Empire has finally relinquished her claim.
Gosetsu, are you awake?
My lord, come in, come in. When Tsuyu returned, her eyes were red from weeping. She spoke not a word, simply sat and peeled some fruit she'd brought for me. She then claimed weariness and retired to her chamber. Tell me, what happened to upset her so?
The ambassador arranged a surprise reunion with her foster parents. A misguided attempt to restore Yotsuyu to her senses. It was plain their presence caused her great distress, but she seemed otherwise unaffected.
Yotsuyu was mistreated as a child, was she not? It was a cruel trick to use her tormentors like that, knowing the pain it could cause.
I like this Asahi less and less.
Be that as it may, he has agreed to allow Yotsuyu to remain with us in Doma. Our primary concern now is to hand over the prisoners without incident and bring our people safely home.
There was one other detail at the meeting which caught my attention.
Are you gonna explain it?
I assume you all noticed the rather suspect crates within the castrum. The Imperials were quick to retrieve them afterwards, but I wonder.
Out with it, brother. You fear they might contain bombs or war machines?
If the ambassador wanted me dead, he has had ample opportunity. No, assassination is not his intent, but we should be on our guard for other acts of treachery.
Lord, forgive me, but the Lady Yotsuyu, she's gone.
Again?
Gone?
I beg your pardons, my lords. I was certain she'd fallen asleep.
No, the responsibility is mine. 'Twas I who gave her a room instead of a cell. She may simply have wandered outside. We will organize search parties. Might I call upon your assistance?
Yeah, we're doing this again. And you guys really need to work in security. Sorry, I'm not. You running looks weird.
Help! Help!
The hell is going on here?
Help! Help me!
Besides.
If only I hadn't remembered. He should hate me. But I will not suffer his kindness. Not after what I did to him.
Who's there?
Oh, it's you. What are you doing out here in the dark?
Asahi's.
This is the Enclave, is it? When the soldiers dragged us back to Doma, you were the last person I expected to see.
You're the bane of our existence, Yotsuyu. A font of misery. You couldn't even do us the simple courtesy of dying, could you? Oh, no. You had to live and taint us with the shame of your failure. We had a perfect life in the capital, and now they're making us wallow in this muddy ruin like common swine. I don't deserve this.
Now, dear, that'll do. There seems little point in berating the girl when she scarcely remembers her own name. Our time would be better spent contemplating how we're to survive this unhappy predicament. You've kept your looks at least. I suspect you'd fetch a handsome price with the right buyer. Maybe enough to get us to Kugane and start a new business.
Ah, my beloved parents. No sooner do I wake from gentle slumber than the world returns in all its cruelty. Yes, this is how it always was. How it was meant to be. Very well. If I cannot escape my nature, then I shall embrace it. To the very depths I have sunk, my soul steeped in spite and rotten to the core. The self-righteous hide behind justice, but I need no such mask. Father, Mother, was it not you who made me into this monster? Who taught me the truth of this miserable world? For years I knew naught but the taste of pain and humiliation. But the time has come to savor my vengeance against Doma. Against all my enemies. And it begins with you!
Yotsuyu! What?
Kinda had that coming.
Well done, dear sister. Did I not say you would come back to us?
Brother dearest, what a surprise. You always were a cold-blooded little worm. I doubt you thought twice about sending our parents to their deaths.
Your dagger yet drips with their blood, and you presume to judge me? To be frank, I didn't think you had the strength to slay them so cleanly. A single thrust each. I'm impressed. But surely you can't be satisfied with murdering a pair of doddering elders. You yearn for a deeper vengeance, and the power to see it through.
Please. I don't want to die.
Any sign of her? What happened here?
Well, yeah, these guys really made it worse.
I knew what would happen if she recovered. And still, I did nothing. You say she left with her brother? Whatever he wants with her, he was willing to pay for it with his parents' lives. But this is neither the time nor the place. We must gather the others.
Just to have returned to the bosom of the Empire after all, I cannot say I was surprised, but what I struggle to fathom is Sashi's aim in all this. So Sashi got his way in the end, and at a bigger price, he really is a wild little... is he? Lucio hit her recovery well. I had no inkling that her memory had returned. I kept asking myself when it would happen. At meeting with her parents, perhaps, but then why would she? Nay, it is not to be gained from seeing such recover North's remains while hold the cremation anon. Would that have done said for him? I broke news to Tsukuyomi. He was quiet. I think it's best that he be allowed some time alone with his thoughts. Friends, we are feared Yotsuyu has regained memory and returned to Imperial Fold. It is by any measure a cruel twist, not least Gosetsu, but one which does not invalidate our agreement. According to the terms of the contract, we were bound to surrender Yosetsu's into Garlean hands should her condition improve prior to the hour of exchange of that reckoning. If it's not as it should be, then it must be. This I can't accept. But I cannot accept are the unconsiderable lengths to which Asashi went to achieve this outcome. Given his recent conduct and apparent admiration for Zeno, it is plain he cannot be trusted. That is to say nothing of the unexplained containers he insisted on bringing to our meeting. Whatever this MS is planning, it is not likely that our negotiation will end peacefully. The events of the safety of the continent must be our first concern. I will have an escape route Caster is to be the stage for the exchange, and I believe a thorough inspection has stood empty ever since the Imperial withdrew. While we took steps to ensure that we have defended and occupied its forces, it is entirely possible that the ambassador has arranged things to his advantage. I will slip inside and make certain. Pray allow me to join you. I have some experience with Imperial facilities, and should matters take a turn for the worse, I would help to have least use. That should be a guarantee for us to wait. We need a ship to ferry conscripts and back to the Enclave. Even with every skiff we have, I would take the serial trips and Confederacy. On the other hand, will require only a single run. Let us ferry less vulnerable underwater, assuming our easily on this. I deal with Russia and its pirates before. Kaiser. Much appreciated. I quite parlayed with the pirate. Seemed that at least one there's reprise a role. I'm certain you would make a persuasive pair, but I think we will accompany you with negotiate all the same. My lord, the rule of Doma should not be consorted with common brigands. They stood against the Empire, and if we were to ask them to aid once more, we should treat them as equal. My presence shall serve as a demonstration. Please forgive my presumption. By your leave, Master Alpha and I should be about a task. Dang. Time is short. Russia may take some convincing. And I just do serving Now there's a fate I fancy, what brings the noble lord of Doma, of Bilrest as we. If we come off and the Doma change its place on Guardian ones, then I'm afraid you want to waste a trip. And what fine subjects you would make. With your fleet at our disposal, our desperate restoration efforts would have been hastened tenfold. Let us speak serious. I stand before you not in the manner of fidelity, but to request your aid once more. Yeah, there's this prisoner transfer we have to worry about. Perhaps you're confused. Doma liberation was but a means to an end. We aided you only to save ourselves. Now we have no such incentive. We've sworn no oath to you. We will not come coming to running like hounds at them. I will not presume to treat you with you thus. I come and petition your cooperation as an ally of equal standing. You say, seems a bit lopsided to me. Where is the profit for us in all this? Profit? Must you always think of in such short-sighted terms? Have you ever heard of doing the right thing? Have you ever heard of pirates, little miss? We find we're simple souls, and we'll pay as a tithe. You said, still deny us our due, and we will take it by force. We will pull out the waters, and if you see you drowning, then we are not in the business of doing something. By myself, Mistress Elise. You did not come here to moralize. We came here to talk, and there is no more to say. According to the records that recovered after the liberation, relatives of your Doma-born brethren were among the conscripted in the Imperial armies. And as you may be aware, we recently negotiated the return of said culprits. Many alas, we arrive here and find no families wanting them for them no homes, them shelter. I would ask you offer them a place in the Confederacy. You would not be rescuing strangers, but welcoming brothers and sisters in your ranks. And has not the Confederacy been in need? You seem more informed in our affairs, Lord Hine. The losses we suffered in Garland's hands are no secret, but since we are drove here out of Doma, he has been coming alive with traders and travelers. So much vessel attacks and self-occupied Saxons. We could do with some more hands on the town. I doubt so they would be familiar with the inner workings of the Empire. Very well, the Confessor agrees to your request. You will have your ship. Before that, you must do something for me. The vessel I have in mind was damaged during the though we have mended there, she was yet she is enough below when she has lowered her contra the water lines of rises. Those upper planks cracks. Assuming you want the people to stay dry, we do a favor of swimming around the holes for weaknesses. That is, if the Dormant Lord are not adverse and gain the ropes, but not the Dormant Lords. If we expect a third ship, it shall be done thrice. As a spirit, ships have more quick piers. Our apprentice shipwright will be on our deck and her report to hear your report. Look for the lad named Pen. I thought I had a knack for privating pirates. For the record, my previous attempt was unmitigated success, and yes, I should have quit while I was ahead. You're still even, record. Well, I thought the rumors exaggerated, but the young lord lives up to his reputation. On the way to escape, did she? I did warn you about her being merciful. Yeah, finished, have you? I've stolen Ruby Sea since. But I've considered tasks at hand. For once, I'm glad you agree isn't here. I thought she would have taken kindly to a pirate's inviting Hind to inspect this hull. Blanks. I'm a shipwright apprentice. Shipwright, did you find anything we need? The second inspector seems solid enough. Oh, there's a hole in one area. Oh, on the port side near the bow, you say? I have a look at it, see what I can do. Apologies, I've seen the lag behind. I could float in a gentle sea all day. Otherwise, I'm happy to report no visible. Your Lord Hein, the captain has sent you to inspect the hull. Kami, have mercy, forgive us for our discourtesy, my lord. This quite well. In fact, I'm rather enjoyed it. I take it you are of Doma? Yes, my lord. The Imperials took my father away from the uprising, and I had nowhere else to run. The Confederacy became my family. But sometimes told me they are releasing the contract now. Maybe my father will be among us. Now that I can go back, there's no leaving once you've joined. How fair is our lady? Is she sure there? Captain, what have you found? We found a small flex on the port side. Maybe, but I'll have it fixed before you know it. I see you have met the boy. Did he tell you your story? He babbles when he is nervous. Should his father be among the considerate as he hopes, I mean to give him the choice to leave his life. If he chooses it, I expect you to see they are provided for. I've heard that those who join the Confederacy are all ties with Kenan and homeland. Is that so easily put aside? If I allow it, I see him in my lad. I see in him the lad I was 25 years ago. You say the word and you mean him, but yearning for home still lingers. My family is long dead, and I know this life is my lot. But he has scars dipped in his toes. If there is life for him in Doma, he should have the chance to live it. Well said, the Empire conquest has uprooted many more, be in it Yangtze or in the Ruby Sea. We have a duty to ensure that Imashi and his others like him are free to dwell what they desire. In Maricel, I'll make provisions to cast off. My friends, it seems we have our ship. Let us return to the Enclave. Found on Hotel occupied, betraying no signs of recent activity. Only shadows and echoes awaited for us. Alfino seems oddly reluctant to linger, but I saw it not to concern us. Deserted, quite deserted. 'Twas a simple matter of the plot to serve his path out, hence our swiftness. Tells me that he has little trouble finding a suitable route out there and catch him, but he won't say much more than that. If you didn't know about it, I'd think he's hiding something, but I can't imagine what. Seems Yugi Alfino to complete our task that they have been waiting. We scouted instruction and determined the swiftest path for safety in the event of hostility. We have led the constrip outside as possible haste. From the Confederacy, we pledged a ship to ferry us across the One River. Now we have by the intent to exchange. I pray Kami these precautions. Primary. We'll put on the ship. I left Hikaru in charge. Organizing transport for the Imperial prisoners. He is said they to arrive at the appointed hour, leaving us free to rendezvous, become allies. Come, they have the river bank. We have some hidden bad intention. I was not prepared for the war. I should worry. of it. It does not concede, or perhaps less ominous. It will be there with Tansu at the helm. This is a safe return, people, but what my Lord wishes, that shall be done. So it says we cannot let that monster have his way. Alright, we're ready. Right. I trust that lest there be any confusion, though, the Tower of Change, or whatever else I should plan. Regardless, you bring our people home. You agree? You are yes, my lord. It shall cover the escape and lend them which has been a low dock. We shall see safely to your home. Word.
At last, the hour has come. The conclusion to these negotiations will mark a new beginning for Dorma and the Empire. A first step on the road to peaceful coexistence.
Indeed. We are ready to proceed with the exchange when you are. Forgive my curiosity, Ambassador, but is there a purpose to these containers you bring with you?
Oh, the supply crates. They are filled with materials we hoped might be of use in Dorma's restoration. I meant to gift them to you at our last meeting, but we had so much else to discuss.
How very generous. I confess I had not expected such compassion, welcome though it is. But then I was also surprised by the news that one of our captives had delivered herself into your custody ahead of time. A minor discrepancy I shall overlook in the spirit of the occasion.
Are you perhaps referring to me, Lord Hien?
Oh, it's you.
Yotsuyu.
Orphan of the Nairi, widow of Sashihai, and acting Viceroy of Dorma! You and your people are mine to govern, mine to punish!
Well, well. It would seem your shattered mind is mended. As per our agreement with the Ambassador, you are free to return with him to the Empire. Your authority as acting Viceroy, however, is no longer recognized here.
My position is not for you to decide, little lordling. All who resist the rule of the Empire must be purged. Such was the order given to me by Lord Xenos himself. I will reign here in this putrid, pestilent swamp until the last of you has been broken.
This land shall know no dawn. I will spew forth darkness and drown all in eternal night. And high above you I shall shine, uncaring, cold and distant as the moon!
What has she done?
Oh gods, this is a summoning.
Oh. Another solar eclipse.
A Dorman citizen has called forth an icon in direct violation of our primary agreement. The negotiations have failed. Abandon the captives and make preparations to withdraw.
But Ambassador!
Disobey me, Pilus, and you disobey the Emperor. Make preparations to withdraw! Now!
As you command.
I'll take.
My lord, you must fall back!
You ask me to run? Spare my pride, would you? I know this foe is beyond me. The field is yours. We will withdraw, but not without our countrymen. I want every soul accounted for. Every soul!
My lord.
I knew you would not flee. I see now the strength which flows from that baleful light of yours. But I am become Tsukuyomi, goddess of the moon and divinity of night. What power can compare to such celestial majesty? I shall plunge all I despise into darkness. And within that black abyss, even your light shall flicker and fail. Come, let us cast the stalks and look upon the fate of Dorman. I see a future in which the sun sets on this wretched land. Once and for all! going to be a long night. Whoa! Your end is near.
Wow, how you dodge that? You really... I'm probably just a tank didn't face him. Oh no. Who knows?
my heel. Grind you under my heel!
I'll finish this right now. Farewell.
You really must learn to finish the job. 'Tis true that a gaudy mirror and a handful of crystals make for a feeble summoning. But even the weakest icon is a god of sorts. A threat that must be put down.
I would have killed him right there, honestly.
My! Such hostility! These beings are the sworn enemies of the Empire. I merely did my duty as an Imperial officer. Will you surrender to anger then? Slay an anointed emissary to avenge a fallen foe?
I'd kill you regardless, bro.
Ha! You cannot, of course! To do so would burn the bridges we have labored so hard to build.
Oh, but I'm forgetting. They're already ash. This doorman woman has seen to that. The Empire cannot ally itself with any nation that refuses to renounce summoning. I believe I was most clear on that point.
Oh, I'm gonna throw hands, man. I'm throwing hands, bro.
It should have been mine. The power he bestowed upon her. I should have been the one to govern Doma. I would have repaid his faith.
No one alive loves him more than I!
Sure.
Instead, this harlot betrayed his trust. Useless piece of filth! Worthless whore!
Thank you, dear brother, for this precious gift. Vengeance.
What was that about making sure the person's finished?
These people, our people, they ignore the corruption which festers beneath the surface. Cast aside that which is dirty and broken. Speak not of things which would disrupt their dreary little lives. Like you, Asahi. Always pretending not to see. You were the first. The first I swore to kill. Such bliss. I had thought my hunger insatiable. But now I am satisfied. You should feel honored, dear brother. I saved the last of my strength, just for you. What's the matter? The Witch of Doma will soon be dead. He will mourn to you, perhaps. I wonder, was the fruit as sweet as he remembered?
Xenos!
On that flashback.
Lord Xenos.
Oh no,
I am at your disposal.
Oh, I see him being alive.
Asahi, you were born of Doma, yes?
Yes, my lord. I am honored that you would remember me. How may I serve?
You are hereby appointed Ambassador Plenipotentiary, and empowered to speak with the voice of the Emperor. Return to your native land of Doma, and announce your intention to sue for peace.
For peace?
Once negotiations are underway, you are to locate the acting Viceroy.
She lives? That is to say, I will, my lord.
When you have found her, you will initiate a ritual to call forth an icon. I will instruct you in the necessary steps. Yotsuyu's faith is unreliable, but as a child raised to believe in the Kami, she will serve as a vessel for one of the Kojin's gods. She need only wish it to be so. The power will seem a gift, but the icon's essence will consume her. She will be no more than a husk, a slave to whim and desire.
My lord, ever since the day you saw fit to save my miserable life, I have dreamed of repaying your benevolence. Upon my honor, I swear to devote myself wholly to your service. All that you command will be done, no matter the cost. But I fear the subtleties of your plan yet elude me. From the reports I have heard, the champion who aids the Doman resistance would make short work of a single icon.
The icon is merely a message. The pacifist teachings of the Populares spread through this city like a plague, and I would remind the people of the threat we face. You will be my chosen agent, the hand which tolls the warning bell. The salvation of this world will not be won
We did choose you.
of treaties.
Your chosen agent. I will not fail you, my lord. My master, Lord Xenos, he will come for you.
You have prevailed, I see.
She is gone? Wherefore did the Kami spare us, only to inflict this pain?
Death shall not want for company this day. You spared us a worse disaster, but I fear our fledgling peace with the Empire was beyond saving.
Lord Hien!
Maxima, is it not? I assumed you long fled.
I entertain thoughts of escape even now. But our negotiations have yet to reach a satisfying conclusion. The ambassador insisted that the summoning spelled an end to our mission here. But it seemed to me there was more to the tale. I have heard tell of this power you wield. And in your vision, you witnessed Lord Xenos giving these orders.
How can that be? Xenos is dead. He took his own life after the battle in Alamigo. I saw his body with my own eyes.
Forgive me, but Lord Xenos is very much alive. He granted our party an audience prior to our departure. That he was gravely wounded is certain, but his recovery appeared to be proceeding apace.
I'm afraid I share Lord Hien's confusion. The man's death was confirmed and his remains interred. These are matters of public record.
I have no doubt you believe what you say. But what then is the explanation? That an impostor has infiltrated the innermost circle of the Imperial Court? The idea is inconceivable, absurd. But worthy of investigation nonetheless. Our movement can ill afford to have a highly placed pretender undermining our efforts.
Your efforts may yet bear fruit. Tell me, what is to become of our prisoner exchange? Though we have already taken custody of our conscripts, we have yet to release your Imperial comrades. Do you still intend to collect them?
Yes. As the late Ambassador's second-in-command, it falls to me to speak on the Empire's behalf. And I'm happy to confirm our intent to proceed according to the original agreement.
Then let us be about it. 'Twould be a pity to abandon such a promising beginning.
Indeed. You have my thanks, Lord Hien. As soon as our people are secure aboard our airship, we shall depart straightways for Garlemald.
Tread lightly, Pilus. I sense treachery awaits you there.
Might I accompany you to the capital?
Alphino, have you gone mad?
Dude.
Imposter or no, if Xenos was instructing Asahi on the finer points of ritual summoning, then experience tells us there is an Ascian waiting in the wings. Without our knowledge and expertise, our new friends will be hard-pressed to contend with a foe for whom death is but a minor inconvenience. They need our help.
Were you indeed willing to share your knowledge of this enemy, we would not shun your counsel.
Maxima's the real one, huh?
You truly mean to do this? In full knowledge of the danger?
I have seen the Warrior of Light risk his life on countless occasions. Next to him, I'm scarce more than a distraction on the battlefield. But in the meeting room or the audience chamber, there I can make a difference. I can strike bargains, forge ties, and change minds. And where better to do these things than in the home of our old enemy?
I believe in it, buddy.
'Tis not for me to stop you. But I would have you consider an alternative arrangement. Rather than braving the Empire as a simple traveler, go forth as an emissary of Doma. Such a position should offer you some measure of protection.
Go then. You've obviously made up your mind. Just try not to do anything reckless, all right?
I shall be on my best behavior. Farewell, my friends.
Later, buddy. I don't know, but I know what I would say if the roles were reversed. Summoners is a family trait after all. Yeah, as I say, but only to greet by the side and not worth from fence hammer. I was planning the summoning? Oh, here, my friend. None of us would have escaped Yosutsu's vengeance had you never been. She was a pawn, but she still had a choice. She chose to submit to Ambassador Pe. There's little wonder. I gather he left the same way he came, alone in a rowing boat. As for the conscript, most of us took a before the battle began to earn it, but the vessel yet awaits the riverbank for those. She also had a choice to kill herself too. Okay, Delphi behind us. Make way for the exit. Consider it was to be a shame we would have missed. Their drip is better though, I'm gonna be honest.
How often have I imagined this moment? Thank you for helping it come to pass.
Goodness Maxima. Back as respect.
Ah, there you are.
Gosetsu, your hair!
My friend, what have you done?
An old man who cannot raise his blade has no place in the service of a young lord. Thus did I decide to devote my remaining days to pilgrimage. I will walk this land, offering prayers of repose for all the souls who left this life in suffering.
All of them?
A fulsome farewell makes for an enjoyable journey.
Scarcely have we said our goodbyes to Alphino, and you leave us too. But 'tis well that my companions find their own way forward. I must endeavor to do the same.
I have faith that you will find the best path for Doma without me, my lord. Pray forgive me this last act of selfishness, and grant me your blessing.
You have earned it 1,000 times over. Go in peace, my friend. I shall make of Doma a land where children laugh, and none need live in fear.
There is no better way to honor those who went before. And with that, I take my leave.
Correct the plan. The ship ended up being and it said, I'm not a pirate anymore. I'm going to live in Doma and my father were free. It was great to be feeling similar. I only hope I can fill the void where he left behind her. How the hell is talking to her? Quite like history. I wonder if we'll ever see him again. Oh, speak of reunion, have you ever spoken with Inashi? It turns out his father was among... Yeah, I did. Our friend. By ample gods would be grateful. Pray join us, Kisha, upon thinking properly. If you're looking forward for a new period of relative calm, as for us, we retreated to the story hurry back in the rising sun. And Anakisetsu, for a day he was old enough to hold a sword. Though he smiled through a farewell, none will feel his absence more keenly. It says, much closer to be relative is the day I live long and one would be happy to dawn of the courageous. I guess on behalf of Doma and the people we will give you a deepest thanks. What do I show you? I have not forgotten the dark cloud of horizon. If Zeno lives in the source of grave concerns, maps the grave, yet there is little to be done. Wait for Alphino to send a word. Till then, I plan to devote myself fully to promising the Gozetsu by building a nation which... Must confess I miss him already, but the thoughts of him at last found peace goes way to softening the blow. I wonder, do you ever stop thinking about asking yourself why he showed Yoshu such kindness? The death of his wife and daughter during the invasion, though he hid it well, they're never far from the thoughts. Yoshu's childlike mind I believe he saw not a fallen tyrant, but a little girl who was lost to him. After the loss of the family, Gosetsu devoted himself wholly to service his country. He suffered any hardship, strove beyond the limits of endurance without his. Though Tsuyu could never truly replace his daughter, I had hoped that with her aside, he might have the remainder of his days in relative content. I have been so minded. Even now I labor to discern any of your sister's fate. Deliver her from certain death with no memory of her sins, only to have her at the mercy of a stepbrother. Can that truly have been her will? The will of the Kami is not for us to know. What I do know is that if we remember a girl named Tsuyu lived among us. And though she brought a little whisper of respite from a grieving heart, Gosetsu. So, good job, my friend. And see you. Everything is impossible. You and Elise must be promised to visit us again, and Alpha No too. We return from Empire. No one. Time for us that we were going. We've done all we here, and we have a lot to report. But if we head back to base, let's reach. We should tell Lisa and Xeno, but bad. Oh, my phone's all over there. Where's my... Cool, I've lost my phone. I don't even know where that shit is anymore.
Oh dear. We seem to be missing a corpse.
Well, it must be somewhere. I only hope it isn't walking around.
Oh, cool, I didn't even... Alright. With that being said, I thank you for watching. If you subscribe to videos all the time. That being said, this has been Kenan Kaiser. I'm OP. I'm just like it. See you next video. I'll be the same.